We might get a pre-season and we might get one home game during the year.
You might be due. You might be due a team, mate.
Yeah.
I saw Perth was announced today.
Yes.
So the Bears are back.
Yes,
the Bears are back.
And that'll be interesting how they match Perth and then Sydney, like North Sydney, like.
Yeah, it's a big flight, eh?
Yeah.
I think I'll go. My gut feeling is I think Perth will be the next team in. I think they'll be in before PNG.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll be over for the first Perth game for sure. I think that'll be the first Perth Warriors game for sure. That'll be good.
Yeah.
What
would be the ideal, result tomorrow? Like, what are we hoping to see? Obviously a win.
56-0.
Yeah. An ambush, Anzac Day ambush.
Easy.
Yeah.
Well, so this is the thing. So Anzac Day is my birthday.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm very lucky I get a Warriors game for my birthday every year. It's not been a happy birthday for about 12 years.
Would you?
So it'd be nice. It'd be nice to get a win. The Knights' attack is a little bit broken. I think they're missing a bit of spark.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Willie Mason came out this week and doubled down on Tyson Gamble.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if that's good or bad. He's going to be the guy that's going to come out and have a blinder after that. So I think it will be good. I think the Warriors this year seems to be the team that grinds, and then plays a bit of footy in the last 20 minutes. So I do think it'll be close. But I think Warriors, let's say 26-12.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good shout. We've had mixed results down here. Yeah, but we
came last year for the Raiders game.
Okay.
Round one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all I remember is how cold it was. Eh?
Yeah.
I was like, this is March. It can't be that cold. So we've got our scarf, we've got our beanie, we've got our puffer, we've got everything good to.
What is the biggest highlight in terms of Warriors for you over its years?
It'll have to be the prelim final against the Knights at Mount Smart.
Yeah, that was an amazing game to be at.
Insane. The atmosphere there was crazy. So the other crazy thing about that is, so obviously we're season pass holders, but for that game we couldn't get our seats.
Oh, okay.
It reopened because the NRL sold them. The Warriors didn't.
They do playoffs, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so all of our group of friends, where we normally sit in upper east stand, we had to get some seats in the lower east stand. But the weather was starting to warm up, and it was like an early afternoon game. It was sort of dusky, and the seats we got were quite close to the sideline. And I wouldn't want those seats for regular season games. I wouldn't want those seats for watching every game. But to be in the atmosphere with the whole crowd behind us and the whole thing. And we played a blinder that game. We could have beat anyone that day. It was that's definitely my Warriors highlight for sure.
Also the one after the lockdown.
Yep, I remember that one as well.
The homecoming.
And they came out the tunnel.
Yeah, they came out the tunnel. I had tears. I don't know if it was just we were a bit dusty from the All Blacks game that was the night before, but it was tears down our eyes. We were just like, we're back home. We were just losing the plot.
Yeah.
It was such an amazing atmosphere.
So good. Yeah, never heard of the All Blacks, but...
Highlights in terms of what Christchurch has to offer you around
I would say... So everything's been very, very, very good. I would say almost top of the list would be the sushi ball.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's not really something we get in...
you were saying, why no one in Auckland doing this?
Yeah, so a lot of people said that we do, but I think what we actually get is sort of more the... kind of like the 7-Eleven style sandwich.
Yeah.
So we kind of get them. You do get rice balls, but they're sort of... A, they're a lot smaller, but B, they were made a few hours ago and they're chilled and set.
Yep. They made it right there on the spot for you, eh?
Made it on the spot, hot, fresh, so the chicken on the inside is still crispy and warm, and the sauce is still really good, and the rice was super acidic that I really, really liked. So it was with the sweet and salty chicken, it was really, really good. The chicken was still crispy. I found out afterwards you could add avocado to it, and then I also found out afterwards you can get half and half, and I was like, man, I wish we got half and half. I think that would have been good.
Whoever recommended it should have put that in the post.
I think someone did, but I say, I got so many comments. I was completely gone from King of Snake.
Yep, that's
really liked King of Snake. That was really, really cool. Had delicious passion fruit, alcoholic passion fruit. What do they call it? Passionade. Alcoholic passionade at Kaiser Beer Garden.
Yeah.
Which was really, really cool. I actually ran into the owner after that as well, which was cool. I didn't realise he owns Loft Sports Bar.
Oh, okay.
And so we ended up in there afterwards for a drink, and he came and saw us there, which was cool. Sholo, which is the new Mexican place. Wells Street. Butcher's Bakehouse in Riverside Market, and we went to Glamour Cakes. That's it, Glamour Cakes. So we went to Glamour Cakes in Littleton, and that was pretty good too. The Glamour Cakes one was a lot more your classical, what I've grown up with pie, and then sort of the Butcher's Pie Shop was sort of a little bit more upmarket and delicious. Both great, both tick the box. So my background's all fine dining. So as a young apprentice, I worked in lots of fine dining restaurants. A little bit in Queenstown, a little bit in Arrowtown, a little bit in Auckland, a little bit in Melbourne, so around the place. And then, fell into baking. So my ex-girlfriend's my business partner, actually. And so fell into that with her. and ended up opening a sort of everything pie deli shop after that. Sold that, did really well, and that was sort of through COVID. And then after COVID was, when that staff shortage I was talking about happened. When that happened, I had no chefs, so I was meant to have one other chef, and then another one was on annual leave. My front of house manager was on annual leave, and my plan was I was just going to float between the two and make it work for the first 2 weeks of January when it was a bit quieter. And then the week I was meant to come back, the chef who was meant to be helping me, he got COVID, and at that stage it was a 14-day stand down, and so it was like we can't be doing. Can't be doing that on my own. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, in that case, I'm going to do just pies, and I'm going to make some videos, and I'm just going to hope that people come for it. And then, if it works, it does it. And the first couple of videos I did were like 250,000 views. Wow. And just all of a sudden, just bang, and it became... And at that stage as well, I wasn't even doing Instagram. I was only doing TikTok. Okay. And so I was like, okay, cool. This is the next step, and just stuck with it ever since. Yeah.
Was it hard to break into? I guess no new bakeries. Are they just popping up, or is it because you use that vehicle of the social media to get the name out? And
it's different. So even at that time, so we haven't put our prices up since then. And so like our pies are $13. So it's one of those things. At that time, your sort of standard pie was $4.50, $5.50. They're a lot closer to $8, $9 now, which is good.
Yeah.
But, sneak us in.
Oh, looks
I'll give you the chicken back, Will.
We've got the skinnies with berry. Which
Sorry?
ones were skinnies? The shoestrings?
Oh, shoestrings? There we go.
Yes, please.
I was like, both of us are skinny.
I'll bring up with some cutlery. Can I get you some drink or anything?
Awesome.
Would you like a drink?
Yeah, I'll have a drink. Yeah.
What do you got, brother?
I'll bring a
You got any beers? We can probably make it easy.
Beer, I've got a Wild Buck Lager, hazy pale ale, and tap.
Wild Buck Lager sounds good for me.
I'll get a hazy.
Beauty.
Capo, bro.
Oh, yum.
Look at that.
Look at that chip as well. Look at that. Give you one of those. Give you a little look at that crunchy as well. Yum. All right, straight into the fish.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
I'm gonna break her enough.
Light batter. Wow, look at that.
Yum.
Good shot of that.
Ooh, bit of lemon.
Cheers. Wow.
Yum. That's actually cooked so well. Look how juicy that is. Look at that. You can see all the juice coming out of it still.
That is so moist.
The sauce is good too, actually.
I'm loving the light batter on it. What do you say, soda water?
And it's so crispy as well, like, I don't mind a little bit of chew, like, kind of on that underlayer.
Yep.
And that's perfect, but sometimes, the outside gets a little bit, probably leathery is the word,
Yep, I have plenty of leathery fish, yes, definitely. Look at that bit. A little bit of lemon on it and that sauce. What's your thoughts?
I love it. It's a long way to the Chatham Islands from here, eh? Well, I'd be going for these. Delicious. Yum. It's always a treat having cod. I think like I was saying before, we only really get snapper or shark up north.
And again, we've done nearly 100 fish and chip reviews. We often never get the top shelf, but it's nice to actually,
Sneak in, bro.
Coming through, brother. This will be washing it down really nicely.
Would you like any cutlery or napkins?
No, we're fine, bro.
I think we're good. Just roughing it out. Thanks, brother.
Old school. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Appreciate you coming through.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're just taking the city by storm.
I know. I can't believe how busy it was.
Yeah.
We've had I've had a few places reach out about fucking having me through. Oh, I shouldn't swear. Sorry. You can leave that in if you like. It's fine.
Good shot. She's seen me watch the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm from West Auckland. That's what happens. But yeah, had a few places reach out and stuff. Being like, oh, we'll shout your meal. We'll do all this sort of thing. I was like, I don't really. That's not the point. You know what I mean? It's not the point. It's sort of
Experience.
Yeah, and also it's nice to share what I'm eating. You know, it's not something I've ever sort of done before. It's a nice little side quest for me. It's really, really cool. And it's showing as well. I think sometimes some food reviewers get really, really into the point where they're trying to make content that is going to get views, and so they try and look for something outrageous to say. You know what I mean? And and it's like, man, at the end of the day, these are often small mum and dad owned places, and it's their livelihood, it's their job, it's what pays their kids' school, it's what pays their mortgage, pays their rent, and it's not really necessary to find something bad. You can always find something like really delicious about everything.
It's probably I guess this idea came through COVID, just lockdown, watching lots of reviews, and I'm thinking, oh, this is a thing. And so what's our version? In New Zealand, I figured, oh, fish and chips is, I love it. It's everywhere. People have their own version of it in every shop you go to.
Yeah.
And then you're right, like an epiphany moment or light bulb moment. It's just like, what am I trying to do here? Am I looking for those gotcha moments? Or am I just trying to highlight these amazing people who, some of the shops I've gone back to, their kids are now adults who served me when they were like little kids.
Yep.
And they've just roughed it out, working 7 days a week sometimes for all year, getting maybe a month off a year, maybe, if they want to treat themselves. And it sort of just changed my perspective on this. It's like, yes, you can be a reviewer, but you don't have to be an asshole.
Totally. It's like, it's one of those things as well. You don't have to say every bad thing. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to. There's always a little bit of good you can find in everything. There's always a little bit of. Look, end of the day, like opening a business is really fucking hard. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things you can always find a little bit of passion in it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you can't find any passion in it, no one else is going to, and they're going to be closed in 2 weeks anyway.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you may as well not accelerate that. You may as well not. What is that? If you don't have anything nice to say, you may as well say nothing at all, kind of thing.
That's why I like, how do you, let's say something on Google, or like how the reviews come through to you guys? How do you tackle that as a...
Oh, I'm awful. It puts me in a spin sometimes. And like sometimes it literally puts me into a moment of 2, 3, 4 weeks where it affects my content, it affects my work. It's like, I'm so passionate about what we do, and I don't know why a stranger saying something a little bit critical on the internet is really, really, really hard to see. But it's one of those things as well where even me posting about that or me sharing about that is also then unprofessional. You know what I mean? Like that person's welcome to their opinion, and it's like, obviously I'm going to disagree, and that's why I've got a shop and they don't. But at the same time, it's really hard to be fair. And like the other thing is like at the end of the day, I've got a team of 17 staff now. I've probably made less than 200 pies this year. We sell 5,000 a week, and like my hands haven't really been on any of those. So when the review comes through, as personal as I feel it, it's also my team, man. Like my team has then got to. I've got to sit there and decide, do I go to my team and say, hey, this person reckons this? Or do I sit back and say, this person reckons this, but they don't know, they haven't worked in hospitality, they don't know what they're doing, but then also they're paying those bills. So it's that middle ground of figuring out where consistent reviews come from and how you can offer that feedback fairly to the staff to be able to decide what our authentic resolution is, and whether we hold the course and trust what we're doing, and that's just not our customer, or whether we decide actually there's probably a little bit of truth to that, and we probably need to brush up on that a little bit and how we can look at that positively, and find a way to grow. But it's not easy, and like honestly, it ruins it. I fucking hate reviews. The worst thing. So when you own a business, and business owners all know this, you get an email and it says, let's say Andy. So it says Andy left you a review. And that's what the fucking email says. And so you'll be sitting at the pub, you'll be 3 or 4 beers deep, and it'll say, Andy left you a review. And you're like, oh, do I open it? And it's loading, and it'll come up like 5 stars or 1 star. Never 3 stars. You never get 3-star reviews. Someone's either angry or happy. And you're like, oh my God. And so when you do that at 7 o'clock on a Saturday night, and it's just like, that's the worst time ever to open your bloody emails. But that's part of it. If I didn't care, I wouldn't open it. But because I care, of course, I read all of them.
How do you tackle the social media comments or similar way?
Wrongly.
Fronts on, run it straight.
I'm very happy to engage in negative stuff, which I really shouldn't. But if someone comes in and comments on my post and says, oh, like overrated and overpriced, in my head I'm like, oh, where's your post shop? I just don't understand. I don't understand the reason that people have to comment that on content. It's like, you don't, saving the sea turtles doesn't mean you have to go out and kill all the sharks. You know what I mean? It's like, if you don't have to say that. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just tell us the place you like. And like, we can all go there and we can all decide, and then that place will do well. You don't have to sit there and rip on one place for your opinion, kind of thing. Like.
Oh, for sure. And I guess we as content creators. Especially once you start going outside your community, like something goes viral, you're hitting crowds that are new to you. And
Totally.
so they are like, what's this? And, and they're quick to judge because they haven't gone on the journey with you.
100%.
Or they haven't seen your passion because they've just commenting on one video that they've seen for 30 seconds.
Yeah, and it's probably a bit of work I have to do as well, right? Like it's probably something where you do have to realize you're not going to please everyone. You do have to realize you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. You're not going to, there's going to be people that don't appreciate the time, value, skill, investment, everything that we've put into stuff. And that's fine.
Yeah.
There's no reason why other businesses shouldn't survive and thrive the same way that we do on the base of their customer base as well. And to be honest, this is the interesting thing for the hospitality industry as well, is that it really thrives on that competition. As soon as there's a competitor bakery and they post a really, really good pie, all of my customers go and try it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then when they try it, they've got to come back to me to make sure. So it is a good thing. It is a really good thing to be able to compare businesses like that as well. So it's the poison chalice. And it's about becoming comfortable. With that. Yeah. It's like, and it'll never end, man. Like people are always going to have opinions, and people are going to grow, and people are going to understand how their opinion affects other people. When you're commenting on someone's food, you're actually commenting on someone's work. And everyone wants to do well at work. That's universal across every industry.
I hope you have enjoyed Fush. These
Had the
guys
best time.
are passionate about their kai moana, passionate about just delivering it, and it's, as the owners will say, that they know, like you say, you talked about your pies being $13 and all. They know that they are more expensive than other stores, but they stand behind their food and what they're putting out, and they are confident that they are putting out their passion on
Well, they've got multi-venues now as well, eh?
They do.
Yeah, they're doing a great job for multi-venue. It's always hard when you spread yourself across that, and you've got to put systems and training in place to... the day, hospitality is not a high-paying industry.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, you end up with young staff, and they don't have that years and years and years of... It's not the lucrative place to come and work in a fish shop, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things you've got to have really good systems and practices in place. And, for example, the guy serving us, lovely. Fucking so good at his job.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And then, you add on top of the layer that Te Reo Māori is very important to them. Like the owner is actually in Auckland doing, he teaches businesses around kaupapa Māori and how they diversify in the workspace. So that is their passion first, and then it comes through their food.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
I just appreciate you coming through, fitting us in your busy schedule. I hope tomorrow for your birthday you get the dub.
Surely, please.
You get the dub. I'm confident we'll get the dub.
I think so too.
I think the boys are going to put on a masterclass, backing them all the way. But yeah, just love your content, and to have someone, like I said at the start, with skin in the game, but is still out there trying foods, reviewing foods, and just sharing the love that you have in your business, sharing it out and about. And I appreciate you putting love on our city. Thanks for coming through.
Well, first stop, anyone from Christchurch, where we are. We're a bit of a way from the airport, but pop into Ashby Pies. That'll be us.
For sure. That's our next stop when we're up there, for sure. No,
Beauty.
I appreciate your time, bro.
Cool.
I really do. And up the waz.
Up the waz. Beauty.
Cheers, brother.
Thanks, bro. That was awesome.